Hi everyone. Today we are going to explore something really cool in JavaScript, how the call method works and how we can create our own custom implementation of it, which I have named myCall. Even if you're just starting with JavaScript and have heard a little about this keyword, don't worry. I'll break it all down step by step. By the end of this video, you'll not only understand the call method but also how to build your own version. So let's dive in. Now, what is all the fuss about this call method? So the call method in JavaScript allows a function to borrow another object as its context. So let's start with a simple example. Suppose I have an object obj1 and it has two properties, a name, let's name it user1, and a getName function which takes a job title as a parameter and uses the plain old console log to print the name of the object along with the job title. Now to print the name and the job title of this particular object, we can just use object1 dot get name by calling the function and passing a parameter which will just give us hello user1 ur swe. So this is a very simple case in which we have just called a function from an object with the help of the dot notation. But what if I want this getName function to be called through another object? Because here we can see that we are printing this dot name, but currently it is tied to object1. So one solution might be to give the same function to another object. But is it really needed? The solution to this problem provided by JavaScript is calling the getName function tied to the object1 with the help of call and passing in the first parameter as the second object, like the current object that you want to call the function with, along with comma separated parameters. Now as you can see, I've used the second object obj2 in which I've passed the name as John and the job title as Fe, and I can see that the console output is hello John you are Fe. So now we have successfully used this function being tied to obj2. So this function is super useful when working with reusable functions that need a specific context to run. Now, why should we create a custom call function? So here's the fun part. What if we wanted to create our own version of call? Not because the original is broken, but because building it ourselves teaches us how JavaScript works under the hood. So let me walk you through my custom implementation of myCall. Here's the code for our own implementation of the myCall function. Now I know this looks a little intimidating, but don't worry, we'll break it down step by step so that it is easier to understand. So we know that the this keyword in JavaScript points to the current context. So if you're calling the myCall function with any function present in any other object, it will act as the this keyword. So here for this particular function, the current instance, that is the this, will be the function on the left hand side of the dot, and the instance that we are passing as the first argument of the function will act as the object on which we want to call upon this function. But we also need to check that the first argument that we've provided is a valid instance. Otherwise, we'll just have to call that function on the global window object. So if we're using a browser, that would be different. If we're using a Node.js environment, the global object would be different. Now, since we know that the function that we want to call, that is the reusable function, is not an already existing property in the new object. So to attach this property, we need to create a unique key, which we will create with the help of the symbol function. Now, why this symbol is necessary? So that we can avoid any conflict with existing properties. After creating and attaching this unique key, we can just call the function and then we can store its result. Now, after we have called the function and we have gained a result, we can remove this temporary function property since we do not need it anymore, and we do not need to unnecessarily add one more property to the object. Now we can return this result of the function call.